Do I remember you? Yes.
I've came for 3 years straight.
3 years straight, Garrett.
Yes, I remember you.
Yeah.
What's my name?
Your name is...
Well, no wonder. She's like 7 of 9.
I know. I have pictures of you from the prior cons. You wore like a white costume before, right? Okay.
Oh, he does remember.
My question is for Kate.
Please go easy.
I've enjoyed watching you since Ryan's Hope
Thank you.
and Mrs. Colombo.
Thank you.
And I was wondering if you have any plans to come back to TV.
I'm on TV. I have 2 things on TV. Maybe more for all I know. I'm on Warehouse 13. I play Eddie McClintock's mother. The cat's out of the bag. That one great. Huh? It was aired.
It was aired. The episode was aired. She plays Eddie McClintock's mother. Oh,
This week.
son of a...
Nice job.
All right. This is a device.
And that's how good I am. I'm not on Warehouse 13 at all.
Men in Black device.
And then I'm on NTSFSB SUV. That's the real me. I wear an eye patch. My name is Cove. I'm determined to keep San Diego a second-rate city, and I'm obsessed with sex. Heaven, absolute heaven. But I am doing Warehouse 13, and I was just kidding about that other thing. Just kidding. I play a waitress. Yes. Yes.
Can I take your order? More coffee with that, in that nebula?
Darndest thing, I just saw that episode the other night on Netflix. It was good times. I had a question for you, Kate, and I'm going to ask all y'all another question.
Sure, it's fine.
I promise it's a good question. Anyways, what are you out, not referencing the darn lizards, what did you think about your role, just like, as a woman? Like, you didn't really seem to have the ability to have relationships other than, like, the closest you have was, like, with Chakotay, and you know, that's just so platonic.
Yeah, she got some. Come on.
No, I didn't.
You had to.
I got who? It
Jaffin.
was a hologram. Let's cut this straight, baby. I didn't get any. And here's why. I'm going to answer your question.
All right.
It was my choice. Because I think that they really wanted to develop the Chakotay Janeway thing, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, why don't you look at it from my perspective? I was 39 years old when I took that role on, right?
Right.
The first female captain. Lost in the Delta Quadrant within seconds. Okay? 75,000 light years from home. A crew, a complement of 165. Right? I'm responsible.
Everyone's got to get a little love.
No.
I'm just saying.
Lending red alert a whole new meaning, and I wasn't going to go there. So I went to Rick Berman, whom I liked very much and trusted creatively. And I said, let me tell you something. This demographic, which is young men, 15 to 30, 35, 40, 45, they're not going to buy it if the commander, the first female commander, is stooping in the ready room. Do you know that? Do you understand me?
I like
so I said, please,
Speak stripping.
let me, that's Yiddish for
Oh, yes.
making,
No, I'm a little...
making So I said, please, no sex, no love, no man. It's a lonely thing, but I'm gonna get this crew home. And did I do it?
You did.
So I forwent that I made that sacrifice. And I think it was appropriate, don't you?
I can see that, yeah. Favorite books?
Well, we can just get Robbie to answer that. He just read books the whole time. Go ahead.
I love The Confederacy of Dunces, one of my favorite books of all time.
Yes.
Okay.
My question to all three of you is which favorite episode do you like the most? Which one was your favorite?
Well, why'd you go, Gary?
I don't have a favorite episode, but I have a favorite scene from Tinker Tenor, Dr. Spy, where the doctor is so full of himself and all the ladies in the ready room are sending him little messages on the pad like that, how sexy he is. That to me was hilarious. All the women in Voyager hitting on the doctor to me. Very funny. Yeah.
But for you personally,
Personally, I would say Timeless, the 100th episode, where the ship crashes and Ensign Kim and Chakotay are the only two people left alive. That was the best.
you were excellent in that,
Thank you.
if frozen. And you?
I love Sacred Ground. I really did. The first one I directed. I thought Kate
I
was
loved it.
wonderful in it. It was great. I love that episode.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yes, it was beautiful.
I had to take off my clothes.
She had to take off her clothes. I actually asked her if she would be comfortable with that because it wasn't
Covering
in the
up the
script.
microphone. Yes.
It wasn't really, that moment wasn't in the script, but I thought, you know, this is this kind of vision quest ritual she's going through, and they would sort of cleanse, and it could be a really powerful image to see our captain disrobed and being...
Divest herself of her armor.
Yeah.
And it was just my back.
It was just your back, but it was
Beautifully
beautiful.
vulnerable. I loved that. And I loved working with you on that. That was great fun. We were so young. We were so carefree.
I don't remember that. What?
Kate
Yes,
took
you
her
do.
clothes off, trust me.
Oh my.
And I would say I loved Counterpoint, and I loved Endgame, and I loved Death Wish. I loved Death Wish the best. What a wonderful story. The right to suicide in the continuum. I thought it was fascinating. Probably John Delancey's best work, although I loved being in the bathtub with him. But thank you for your questions. Thank you.
First of all, I'm so glad that you're all here, and you know, Robbie, you also do Chuck, so you're my hero. Come on.
Yeah.
Voyager is my very favorite Star Trek project. So thank you so much. My question is, what is the legacy of having done a Star Trek project that's in your life? What has been the legacy of being involved with this franchise in your life since then?
I was going to ask these guys. I'd love to know what you.
I'll tell you what the legacy to me is more than just the episodes and the stories that were told, but it's the people I've gotten to meet. It's the cast that we still are very good friends, and I feel like they're family for me. It's seeing some of you at conventions, honestly, and I'm not just kissing your butts here, but I'm being honest, is that I see people who come up for a signature and I'll go, oh my God, I remember meeting you years ago. And you know, I see kids grow up. I see the people I work with on Chuck. Still, we have Ethan Phillips was just on an episode last week that I directed. Ben Betts, our video guy from Voyager, has worked with us on Chuck for 5 years.
Dan Curry.
Dan Curry, visual effects supervisor, is on Chuck. It's the people. That's the legacy to me of Star Trek, is that it brings people together and starts conversations about stories like Death Wish or whatever. You know, there were some great stories and great idea starters, but it's about the people. That's the legacy to me. So, there you go. I'm done.
For me, I think I would say being on Voyager, being in Star Trek, more than anything else, I feel like because at heart I've always been a science fiction fan. I think I'm the luckiest fan in the world to actually be on a show. So that's my legacy, just being part of the whole genre. I'm just very proud to be on it. Period. Thank you.
Well, you can imagine. I mean, I was terrified. My heart was in my throat. And it was the greatest challenge of my career to be the first female captain, to own that seat, and more importantly, to win this incredibly discerning audience whose intelligence I have come to understand is very rare indeed. the love of science fiction and the knowledge of science fiction is something very rare, and that is what is shared in this room, and that is what I learned in my 7 years, and having made that kind of television history, and I think influencing women in science. And I'll end by saying this, I know what my obit will say. I'm one of those. Patrick Stewart and I have laughed about it. Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway, who dies in the correct quadrant, right? But I say, great. What better obit could I have? So there you have it.
Thank you so much, Tom and Van It's a pleasure being here speaking with you all. I never thought I'd ever have this opportunity. My question first is for Kate. How has the transition been from saying permission denied on Voyager to saying permission denied on NTS of SDS? Like, did you ever think that would ever happen? That it would ever go from just Captain Janeway to just,
To freak out? Yes.
And my other question is also for you all. Were you let down by the last episode, how you all didn't get together and reunite with your families and experience your loved ones once again? Was anyone let down by that last episode?
Has to end, darling. I had to have a heavy hand in that episode.
Why is that way?
There's terrible controversy about Endgame. It's the only way it could go down. It had to wrap up. They had this with All Good Things as well. The Admiral went down with the ship, the Captain went on. Chakotay wrapped it up to 7 of 9, although I think that was their first date. You and Torres had long been married, right? Everything was, if not neatly wrapped up. And the only way you can do 7 years, because you cannot possibly do it to everyone's satisfaction. It's a harrowing thing to do it, anyway.
It is,
to say
it
goodbye.
is tough to...
Okay, if I was Rick Berman, this is what I would have done. I felt the first hour of Endgame was great. The second hour wrapped it up way too quickly, and we didn't even set foot on Earth. So,
Totally agree.
I would have did the first hour of Endgame, and at the end of that, I would have said, to be continued at a theater near you. 2 hours.
Oh my God.
That type of thing. Rick Berman was an idiot for not doing that. Because we would have had fans go to that show. I'm telling you, right? And I have to say that I was the only actor that actually raised his hand and did the old age makeup. Nobody else did it except for me. That kind of pissed me off. But that's okay. That's great.
Tuvok. Did he die of Alzheimer's?
I did. He died of it.
Oh, I did very little because there was a pretty guest star on that week.
I did.
Even though he was only 90. Yes. May I ask you a question? Do you always carry that gun when you're wearing that t-shirt?
I actually was waiting in line for probably about 2 hours, and the nicest gentleman ever was making an Enterprise and this.
Oh,
it's a balloon. It's a balloon gun. It's very nice.
I remember those.
I said to him, I was like, oh my God, I would love one. He said, sure. So,
Good.
oh my God, and it's just coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, you're very color coordinated today.
And thank you for your question. Thank you very much.
Because, people want to know, Kate, what happened to your dog? What happened to your relationship with Mark?
Well, he dumped me. He
Oh,
dumped
he
me.
dumped you on the show? Oh, really?
No.
Oh, okay. But
Men don't change just because you're in the Delta Club. Yes,
I actually have 2 questions. My first one's for you, Kate. How did you see any similarities between Titania on Gargoyles and Captain Catherine Janeway on Voyager?
No. Not really.
Okay.
I didn't.
So I've loved you in both roles.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also loved you on Warehouse 13.
I'm not on the house.
My second question is actually...
I have to stop for 1 second and you'll have your question. Where is that person? Don't say,
Don't tell anybody.
No, but sweetheart, it premiered. It did. Well, then it could be 2025 and you haven't seen it. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. When did it premiere? When?
This past Monday.
No.
Sunday? Monday?
I guess you're
Monday.
too busy doing Chuck. Go ahead, ask your
My
question.
other question was for Robbie and what was your favorite practical joke that your characters played on Voyager?
Oh yes, let's give them the truth serum. I can't.
Robbie?
Practical joke. I don't know. We played a lot of practical jokes. I don't know.
Robbie, you didn't.
It would have to either do with fart or boogers or
Yes.
something like that.
Well, okay. This thing went on. I call it the fart wars. Is what I call it.
There was a fart war.
And it was Tim Russ, Ethan Phillips, and Robbie McNeil that were the main
absolutely.
countries in the fart wars.
And I was just there in front of the camera.
So what they would do is Tim Russ would walk from tactical over to ops, and he'd go, "Hey Bubba, I got something for you." And I said, "Yeah, what's that?" He'd turn around and release gas and walk away.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, but Robbie did it
How
this
you felt, don't you laugh at that.
The way Robbie did it was, Robbie actually came into my trailer. He knocked on the door. I said, "Yeah." He walks in, he turns around, releases gas right in my face, and closes the door behind me as he walks out. Do you remember doing that, McNeil?
Sure I do.
Yeah, that was great. So I was an innocent victim of fart wars, but that's probably his big...
There are casualties in a fart war.
The flatulence was so severe that I went to Rick Berman on my knees at the end of the 5th season and said, "Get us home now." Why do boys think that is so funny?
Farts are the best thing ever invented.
Girls don't think it is funny.
Do you know you can light farts too? By the way, I've done it. It's not an urban legend. You can light it.
All right,
it's a
that's very
blue
good.
light.
That's good. Why don't you come forward? Good.
Thin blue.
That's good. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Yes.
Do you like that outfit, Kate, that he's wearing?
Please go.
I have that same outfit.
Robbie, you have the same getup, don't you?
I have the same outfit. That's so weird.
Robbie wore that on the plane coming in, actually. The exact same thing.
Could you turn around?
Show everybody what you got on.
All right, now, do you want to know how smart we are?
Wait, no, I have...
Lieutenant Harris, what are in those pouches?
What are in those pouches?
Every one of those pouches.
Talcum powder.
No, there's super secret magic things in those pouches. I can't tell you, I'd have to kill you. I have another question for you. How many sit-ups do you do every day?
Not every day, like 3 times a week.
How many?
3 times a week I do abs.
That's it? I do abs 3 times a week. That doesn't happen to me.
You lie.
No.
Okay, maybe...
Probably 3 times a year you do abs, actually. Sorry.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yes.
All right, never mind.
You are an exercise maniac, aren't you?
Crazy.
Whoa. I'm sorry, what is your question?
Lizard babies aside.
You need some milk? Yes, darling.
Robbie, that was 3 total. Awesome.
Great. We're all just completely turned on. Yes, what is your question, dear?
Lizard babies aside, what did you guys feel was the subtext of the Paris-Janeway relationship? Because I always felt there was something where she's constantly leaning over him, and I always felt there was more going on.
You picked up on it, didn't you?
We tried to conceal. But it became a very
Can't fight.
Here's the subtext. Yes, we'll go to that Debbie and go, what are you reading? Is it good? What are you Yes, we did have a special relationship. Yes, it was very special.
No, you know what's funny is back when, before the show had started, I remember seeing the breakdowns for these characters, and it had suggested breakdowns. Breakdowns are what the studio puts out to all the agents and casting directors that will describe the kind of character they're looking for. It said something like they were looking for a Harrison Ford type for Tom Paris that could be a potential, yeah, I feel the same way, trust me, who could be a potential love interest for this captain. And that was in the breakdowns. Well, they never really wrote that.
Well, afterwards it was explained to my agents that they were looking for an Angelina Jolie type for Jane. But we're Celts. That's why we got along.
Yeah.
We're Celts.
Yeah.
You know what that means, don't you? Yes, I think you do.
Cheers. No, I think because Kate and I, because we knew each other so well, and because the doors of our trailers faced each other, and we knew everything about each other's lives, I think a lot of that comes off just in the way the scenes are played, even if they don't write it. I mean, they never really wrote a romance with our characters. They never wrote.
Well, what?
They never did, but I think that was just a
great
connection.
camaraderie.
Yeah, there was a great camaraderie.
And there still is.
Absolutely.
We never had a bad word once in 7 years. Not once.
No.
So if your trailers were not next to each other, you would not as be you wouldn't be as good friends?
There certainly wouldn't be.
Warehouse 13, Warehouse 13, Warehouse 13.
Careful, there were.
It's good. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your outfit. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for my abdominal work.
My question is for the incomparable Miss Mulgrew.
Oh, incomparable. The incomparable.
Remember that word, gentlemen. Use it upon occasion. Yes.
Whose Hepburn-esque intonations I have long admired. It's really more flattery disguised as a question, but I've sort of wondered how you came by your diction, which seems so very well trained and expertly administered, and what sort of opinions, if any, you have on vocal training in the profession.
I suppose I'm a little affected. I was born and raised in Dubuque, Iowa, but my mother is very Eastern. And my mother talks a little bit like that, so you know what I mean? They all talk like that, sort of when they go to Mount Holyoke, and that's how. So I was raised here, Kitty, you have to do it this way, and you're going to be a wonderful actress. The only way to be so I sort of grew up like that, then I sort of refined it, and now I'm really impossible. I think you have to have good diction, but it's completely out now. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it anymore.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I like it also.
Thank you very much for that. Did you dismiss everybody? No. Why?
I think we have 5 minutes.
We're running out of time.
There's the
we have 5 minutes.
All those girls.
Yeah.
I want to keep going.
Isn't there another? Do you have a
We'll be
question?
back. We'll have more panels this weekend. We've only started this party, people. Right,
So,
Gad?
let me say this, and I want you guys to jump in here. If you wouldn't. Voyager, all of Star Trek requires a highly stylized kind of acting. Do you or do you not agree? They wanted something that's, I don't want to say bigger. Look at Patrick Stewart, a superb Shakespearean actor, classical, right? But they love that sort of, and Bill has that sort of bigger than life quality, and I think in Janeway, the way she spoke was very much a part of it, and that's what elevated it. It wasn't supposed to be lazy. Red alert, we gotta go. Looks like there's a vortex out there, Dee. It wouldn't have worked, right?
It would have been interesting that way.
What's up, Paris? Yo, it's Captain Janeway, yo.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I do.
It's very stylized.
I think there's a very difficult sort of balance of tones because it needed a bit of a theatrical kind of, a regal sort of polish to it, a military sort of polish, but yet it needed to be not so broad that it felt silly.
And without becoming impossibly esoteric, it needed an understanding of something almost beyond the imagination. So through that articulation, the audience had to believe that this was something fantastic but rooted in absolute possibility. And as an actress, I would like to say, and then you guys can argue me down, which is what you love to do, I think that that's what actors should do. If they do it well, that's what they should do. Reality TV is taking us down to this level of utter sameness. Don't you want to be elevated? So that's what I wanted, and I think that that's what we did. I loved it.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll
Thanks,
see you this
Gary.
weekend.
Thank you.